junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Farmers Insurance Betting Show 2024 from Torrey Pines. DB here, Pat Perry with me, back in the saddle. I took a little mini vacay. Totally checked out, Pat. Like, did a great job of checking out. Really did. I mean, just didn't do anything.
You did a fantastic job of checking out.
I had no time to check out. I was consumed with skiing and the craps tables, but all hell broke loose. Like, what the hell? Who is this prepubescent, pimple popping, can't buy a liquor drink in the U.S. kid that won the damn Amex?
Well,
why were you not on this guy, Pat? Why did we not know?
I didn't have him at 300 to 1. I didn't even know he was in the field till about Friday. But, you know, unlike all the Alabama football players leaving the program, this Bama player is showing up. Okay, he's showing up, and he showed out, and he's on the stage now. This kid is, I mean, he had Sam Burns throwing it in the water everywhere on the last two holes. Just, you know, I absolutely just running circles around these guys. And it shows a lot. One, how good these kids are coming out of college or in college, and how they're, I don't know, whatever they're doing to train, and they're ready. And two, just the nuts that he had down the stretch. Just did not seem to let anything phase him. And it really made me sad. I mean, I was happy. I was happy for him. I thought it was awesome. I was sad because I remember, I'm not that far removed from those college days where you didn't have many cares in the world and you didn't worry about a lot of stuff. And those days are long gone, DB.
God.
And I was sitting there thinking, man, that kid has not a care in the world. There's not a kid that he's worried about right now that we know of. Things like that. I mean,
might be after last night, huh? You never know.
I don't know.
Celebration in La Jolla. I hear they get down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it. I didn't know anything about it. I was informed by the Discord this morning in the First Look outright show that, like, my boy Sammy B completely choked it away on 17 and 18, which I believe is unlike him. That was a very Rory move. He must have watched Rory finish in Abu Dhabi the week before. And Rory tried to choke it away this week, even though he won, but it was still a very beta win. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not trying to make this about Rory, but Sam just didn't do what I thought he was going to do. I sold Sam hard in the Discord on Wednesday night in the live chat, and I wanted to see him get it done. And I can't believe he got beat out by that little kid, man. Now, he's good, obviously, right? U.S. Open winner, U.S. Junior Amateur champ, U.S. Open, God dang it, U.S. Amateur and U.S. Junior Am winner. There's been a couple good ones that have done that. I think like him and Tiger, I think is it.
That's it.
That's done that.
That's it.
And that's pretty interesting, bud. And 2 weeks in a row, nobody on God's green earth except maybe his dad had the winner 2 weeks in a row. Like, nobody. You can't bet in Alabama, can you? No, you can't. But I bet surely, like, if your son was playing in a PGA Tour event, that was his first PGA Tour event, right? Or has he played in one before?
I feel like he probably played in one before, but maybe not. You know, there was something I saw. I think FanDuel maybe put out a tweet that somebody put $300 on this kid. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. Got to be a marketing tool or something. There is no way somebody just, I mean, unless they thought it was Scott Dunlap, and they just, and I don't even know if that kid still plays on the tour anymore.
Who is Scott Dunlap? I don't know.
Google him. He's a PGA.
By the way, on the Thursday show that you did by yourself with Tony, which shout out, I actually did watch it today while I was trying to do some work and research.
Scott Dunlap, right there he is, right there. He's 60 years old.
You said two names in that show, and I had no freaking clue who you were talking about. Like, I was like, what is Pat talking about? One of them was a golfer, an old golfer, and the other one was the girl in Caddyshack, like that you knew her name. And I was like, God, we're in a different space.
I wonder who the golfer was. Everybody's got to know the girl in Caddyshack's name who just passed away. God rest her soul.
Yeah, and also you knew that, which just made me laugh. Anyway,
Yeah.
what a weird freaking start to 2024. Also, like you talked about the kid staying at Bama. Hell, he turned down an invite to this tournament
Mm.
and the next one, right? Did he turn down Pebble too? And the guy's got a Masters invite. He's got a tour card locked up for another 3 years, whatever that looks like, ends up looking like. He's got signature event access. I mean, I guess he's just gonna go take some time and figure it out with his family, is probably his coach at Bama. But dude, I mean, can you just imagined yourself in college? Like, can you imagine yourself at 20 years old basically getting the invite that he just got and turning it down?
Yeah, I don't
And I mean,
see
I don't
how
really think NIL money is all that big in Alabama golf, right?
I don't yeah, it's not that's another thing I kept hearing about is, "Oh, well, he might stay because of NIL money." Listen, the NIL money, folks, is for the football players, all right? Just
Yeah.
forget about the golfers and all that stuff. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter how good this kid is. He would get a lot more money going out of college than he's
Yeah.
gonna get to stay at Bama. Nobody's gonna pay him a bunch of money just to stay at Bama and play golf. I mean, come on, let's be real here.
He would make way more money with a sponsor tomorrow if he turned pro and got
Yeah,
somebody's logo on his shirt than he will staying at Alabama and playing college golf that nobody watches until the end of the season.
yeah. Why
Just
would anybody even waste NIL money on that anyway? So
something is I don't know, man. Mad respect to the kid though for doing what he did, but just so weird. Okay, next year, Tony, reminder. Next year, okay, we are not going to take that tournament seriously next year. If it looks the same, if it's the same format, if it's this pro-am BS 3-course round, easy pins, moving. I saw Michael Kim tweeted today. He thought it was really strange. They moved up tee boxes on one of the days when they could have pushed them back. If they're doing all that stuff and we're getting Nick Dunlap and this weird stuff going on, like not something's going to be different. Yeah,
mhm.
Chris in the chat, he said this morning in the Discord. Like maybe we just take a Nut Hut Discord field trip to Tahoe, like I did, and we all just go to Tahoe. Which we could just do that. We could do a TJ live event. If we can't do that, then we just do something different than the Amex. We make it a week about something else. Or if we cover the Amex, we cover it completely different. I can't. It's just too ridiculous. My top 20, I had all these top 20 bets that were literally one shot from cashing. Damn, Eric Cole on the last hole, I guess, bogeyed, prevented the cash on that one. Sung Jae was a shot away from. I had all these placement bets not hit. It's
Yeah.
just the weirdest dang tournament.
I just had a thought.
Hmm.
Chalk Bomb Ben, who we always talk about how smart Chalk Bomb Ben is,
Hmm.
formerly Chalk Bomb Ben, hangs his hat a lot on the fact that one of his best weeks ever in DFS was the American Express.
Well,
And it's one of the most random weeks. So I don't know. I'm
if he ever
questioning
showed his face around these parts again, maybe we would let him contribute to some of the content.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we could do. But I don't know. He seems like now just more of a legend or a myth these days. He's too busy for us.
Mhm.
But anyway, it was a weird tournament. But we're gonna have some fun tonight, buddy. We are gonna have some fun. We got listener voicemails at the end of this show. We took some weird. You guys are weird, by the way. We'll talk about that more on the voice. This was strange.
Yeah.
We have some strange followers, fans. We're gonna do that. We're gonna talk about our outright bets, our top 26 pack. Always presented to you by our friends at SoBet. Shout out to our friends at SoBet. Maybe the guy who placed the $300 bet was on SoBet, and maybe he's just a really smart handicapper because there's now like 60 plus really good handicappers for every single sport available. NFL playoffs going on. Got NBA action. That'll be Major League Baseball season before you know it. They got handicappers for every possible sport on SoBet, all vetted, all made to be transparent with their plays, to back up their plays with logic and reasoning. Unit allocations everywhere. it's taking all the gambling Twitter bad and taking it out and leaving only the good, and even better because SoBet has just done it right. So if you want to join our friends at SoBet, check it out. Click the link in the description. Promo code TJ Trial gets you your first month for free. You can try it and cancel anytime if you want. But we don't recommend that you cancel because you're going to love it. And it's easy to win that $10 back on SoBet, tailing some really good cappers. So maybe that happened. Plus, our exclusive bets go in there. We have some exclusive bets that go in there. The round robin and the Mary F. Kill bets of the week, which started off pretty hot. But the last tournament, not good. I mean, it wasn't good. So anyway. What else, Pat? What else? We got our season-long bet update. Oh, you know what? Next week, I should tell people about this. Next week, we're going to have a special guest, probably on the betting show. We'll see. Either on the betting or DFS show. Our very good friend, former Super Bowl champ, Danny Woodhead, running back, New England Patriots, San Diego Chargers, all that guy.
I didn't know that. I don't think you told me this.
Yeah, it's on one of the sheets that you never look at. But
sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, he's going to come on, and he loves golf, and we might talk a little bit of golf, but we're mostly going to talk Super Bowl. So we're just going to get us good and lathered up for the Super Bowl. Talk about maybe a story or two he might have, maybe a thought he has about the upcoming Super Bowl. I think we're going to try to have him on Monday or record it or either do it live, but either way on Monday after the game's on Sunday. So that'll be a good time. And then next week, also in the Wednesday night live chat, because it is a signature event next week at Pebble Beach, our friend Byron, the Model Maniac, will be joining me and Pat in the live chat on Wednesday night. Obviously, you can always catch Byron in the Discord most days, and especially previewing round 4 showdown in the Discord. But going to make a good appearance and stay with us for the night next Wednesday night. Chat it up for the Amex. Pumped about that. All right, season-long update. So we have this season-long bet that we've been talking about for the first few weeks. We are going to spin the wheel. I'm making us do this. We're spinning the wheel next week. We're spinning the wheel for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Are you muted, Pat? Why are you muted? What is going on?
What the hell happened? Did you mute me?
No, you muted yourself. Don't blame it on me. What did you say?
I said, so this is it. This is like the whole year bet.
This is the whole year bet. We're spinning the wheel to find out the punishment. And that means we got to lock in our punishments, boys. And we've had some more suggestions roll in. Would love to have your suggestions continue to come in. Drop them in the YouTube comments if you're here watching on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe so you don't miss a video. We drop videos every single week, all week pretty much. Hit the like button and give us a comment on a good season-ending bet punishment. All right. So last week I had Minwoo Lee. Who did you have?
I had Jason Day.
Okay, so I think Jay Day finished a little better than Minwoo, but what do we?
No, he finished a little worse than Minwoo, which was
he finished worse. That
is better for me.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah. But it was a very minimal difference. It was like I think Minwoo is maybe in the top 25 and Day was like 35th or something.
Okay. Minwoo, Tony's got it. Minwoo won $99,120. Day won only $5,780. Are you serious?
No, that's not. I think he forgot a zero. I think he forgot a zero.
45,000. Okay, there we go.
So I picked up a little ground.
A very tiny little ground.
Tiny little bit.
Yeah, this thing's going to come down to who picks the least amount of winners. I think winners are like runner-ups and majors or something. That's what this is.
Well, I mean, I got to admit, sorry to the chalk bomb writer, but our chalk bombs so far have been fairly decent, wouldn't you say?
Well,
although I guess it's not comparable because some of these guys aren't like that we're picking aren't necessarily
our chalk bombs.
Yeah, ours.
Oh yeah, I think we've done very well.
But what I'm saying is they're not necessarily chalky in DFS, which is a different.
True.
Yeah. Like I don't think Jason Day was that chalky last week, and Minwoo Lee probably was. So
right. All right. Well, let's talk about it. Let's get into the top. I'm gonna share my screen here in a second and show something, but let's look at the top first. 30-1 or shorter. A lot of these guys have moved a fair amount. I've already seen some early line movement here. 30-1 or shorter. Fade of the week. Is it my turn this week, Tony? I think it's me.
No.
Yeah.
No, It was you last week.
No, it was you last week.
Okay, yeah, it was me. All right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This one was hard for me. I think this was the hardest one of the year so far. And I don't love this. And honestly, I may hedge because I kind of like this guy to have a top 10. Um, I definitely see him finishing in the top 20, but I still just like the top end of this field, and I'm too scared to take the other name that I'm considering. I'm going to run it back with Minwoo Lee. Lack of experience here at Torrey Pines. Um, I do know, like, you do have the Aussie Kikuyu grass angle. Pat, remember this is the first week with Kikuyu?
Yes, yeah.
And so you have, like, the Aussie and the South African Kikuyu affinity, but I just I just think, like, I still wanna see, like, on the PGA Tour for Minwoo Lee to win a golf tournament, his irons have got to do something. Like, they just have to show a little life. They don't have to be amazing. He's gonna hit it great off the tee. Short game is phenomenal. I think short game gets a massive bump this week with the conditions. It's pissed rain all day today on that course. It's gonna be soft. I think that's gonna increase the around the green play, actually. I think it's gonna be great for Minwoo, but I have got to see something out of the irons before I think this guy's gonna actually win. And so I just thought, man, like, I gotta avoid the guy that wins. And I think it's gonna be Minwoo, but I think he still has a decent week.
Oh man, damn it! I didn't have a backup plan.
You had Minwoo too?
Yeah, but it was because I thought I was going first. I don't know why. So now I don't even.
So your options to me are Xander, Cantlay, Homa, Kawa, Ludwig, Sungjae, Finau, Day, Keegan.
See, I like Keegan. I'm not gonna. I tell you what I'm gonna do. Hmm.
Now, remember, people, while Pat's thinking, I'm going to buy him some time here. Remember, if you're just now joining us, if you're just now starting to tune in, um, this season long bet that we are opening up the show with is a fade, basically in the shorter than 30-1 outright range. So we're basically saying, of the top guys, these are the guys that we think are going to do the worst, basically, and the winner of the season long contest will be the guy whose total season earnings between all those fades is the lowest. So we're just taking the fades every week, adding to get to our totals how much money they earned on the course. Like producer Tony said, Minwoo won 99,000 last week. J Day won 45,000. So Pat won that week, but we're adding it up for the season. So that's what this is for. Which, is kind of like having a chalk bomb. It
Yeah.
is like having a chalk. We're saying this guy's probably going to be popular because he's a good player. That's why he's priced under 30-1, but it's a bold fade is what we're trying to do here. If you had to pick one to avoid, everybody loves to tell you who to play. Not many people like to tell you who they don't want to play up in this range.
All right, I'm gonna go. I gotta do it. I'm going with Ludwig.
I thought about it, dude. I thought about it too.
I'm going with Ludwig, man. I just, look, the guy is an incredible player, and he's probably a little bit more motivated after seeing what Nick Dunlap did last week. But even though he has already won, but still, I think that a course like this takes a little bit more knowledge. A couple more times. Now he has seemed to play well on any course that he gets on. But it's not like Ludwig has been that fantastic this year, despite what he was doing last fall. So I think Ludwig is what I'm going to go with.
Word on the street is, well, you know what? I'll save that for the Discord. I think Ludwig's going to be pretty good here, given the off the tee play and what an advantage it is. If he's hitting 60 to 65% of his 70% of his fairways, which is a high number here, that could really help him separate. But I do agree. Like we at least to start 2024, Ludwig's left a little to be desired. Especially like a Kapalua. Like Kapalua is built for that guy. But at the same time, Kapalua kind of turned into a putting contest. It is kind of weird at times. It's quirky. It does take some laps around. And so then if you talk about the Sony, not a course built for him, I could see Ludwig popping up and doing something. So I think that's if you didn't have the Minwoo Lee option, I think that's a fine option.
Yeah, Minwoo was obviously first, but anyway, okay.
All right, so I want to do something. I'm gonna do a little screen share here, producer Tony, and look at I'm gonna give a little peek. I'm gonna let you see DB's goodies right here.
Mm.
This is CDB's goodies. I'm gonna give you a peek at the model that I've kind of started to build here on this Monday. Now, this model is based off of I built it off of the Bet the Number proprietary model, and then I added my own additional filters to the model. But I want to open it up and show the people what I've got, what it's showing, and some of the inputs that I put in the model. So here we go. All right, are we good? Can we see it? Everybody see it? Sweet. Oh, well, thank you, Dylan, for the super chat. The $2 to Pat's vacation fund. That's very nice, Dylan. Yeah,
Thank you, Dylan.
for all he does. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
thank you for being you, buddy. Okay, so let's do this. Let's look at the model rank first of all, and see who we have here. We got Homa, Morikawa, Samuel Ryder. Samuel Ryder, Patrick. Remember him
Yeah,
last year? He was
yeah.
winning this tournament on Sunday, and they put his mom on camera, and I tweeted, "CBS just mushed Sam Ryder by putting his mom on camera." She, like, doted on her baby boy and how this was his big moment, and then he lost.
There should be like strokes lost mom showings in this model.
Did you just think of that right there? Did you do that on your
Yeah,
own?
that just popped in
Yeah.
my head. Literally, just popped
Wow,
in my head.
that's great. Maybe mute your mic again and just sit it out for a second, think about
Wait,
what
you didn't like that?
that was very lame. Strokes gained mom showing up, like, I could go get my 13-year-old to come up with that right now with no additional context.
Tony's laughing. I can see Tony. He's
Tony's
laughing. So.
laughing at me, calling you out for that was a horrible joke. Either write your jokes ahead of time and pull them out like like you did when you had to use the big words or whatever in the show, whatever that was when you had to
Okay,
use the big
those
words.
were good. Those were
That
good.
was
All right,
better.
get to your model. Nobody cares.
Now this makes me wanna throw my computer screen off of a building and maybe stop podcasting
I
altogether.
know what you're talking about.
I don't even wanna say his name.
I don't either.
Let's just skip him. If you wanna talk about him later, you can. Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, Adam Svensson, Eric Cole, shocker, Sung Jae, him, Ludwig, and I'm going to stop there. That's my top 10 in the model. Inputs here, recent form here, course history at Torrey here. Obviously, a lot of that juicy course history up here at the top with Max, Kawa, even Ryder actually had the top 10. I forgot he had top 10 in 2021. Xander's played here pretty nicely. Sung Jae solid as well. But I want to show people the inputs. So a couple things here. Strokes gained off the tee, ball speed. Got that in there. I'm giving that a little juice. Actually, the BTN model is giving that some juice. Strokes gained approach makes up a total of, let's see, 25, 35, 35% of the model between the per round versus the field. Love this. Based on the approach play data in the Bet the Number course page, and knowing that the course is going to be much softer, that approach bucket between 175 and 275 on those par fives. Last 40 rounds, picked it in that range off the tee, off the fairway, and out of the rough. Filtered that down for that approach play. Did the same thing for 75 to 140. I think when you get guys in the rough here, they're going to be hacking it out when it's wet and juicy. They're going to have some shorter wedge shot, maybe more short wedge shots than usual. I think some of the mid irons might be taken out. Also filtered that between tee, fairway, and rough. Around the green, gave that a little bit of weight there. So a couple of around the green stats here versus the field and then versus the player's baseline between 10 and 50. Got to do some putting, some POA stuff. So putting on POA last 20 rounds. This is filtered to, now this is something people need to know about Bet the Number. Bet the Number has people behind the scenes that go to every PGA Tour event every year for the last however many years, few years. And they know this crap better than anybody else doing this stuff. They have put in what courses are bent, what courses are bent POA, what courses are Bermuda. They have put what those are in here. So it may be different than some other site you looked at or something you read in an article. But I think we can confidently say that Bet the Numbers people are right and everybody else is wrong, because this is what it plays like at this time of year and what it rolls like at this time of year. And so there's some courses that have POA in them, especially in the Northeast and Canada, but that can be a little different than the West Coast POA. This is encapsulating that all the POA, the West Coast POA, the Northeast POA, the Canadian POA, a little bit of that, and then in this shorter range, these putts that are going to drive people crazy all week. This is more filtered to your West Coast POA variety. And then I added in strokes gained total in Cali. So I only did Torrey Pines South, Torrey Pines North, and Riviera. I gave that some juice, and then I did bogey avoidance. And here's what I love about this site is I can label it whatever I want to label it. So strokes gained Cali, and then I labeled this one "Say No to Bogey."
I like that. Good name.
You know what I mean? So then that's how it shows up right here in the model, and that's how we got our inputs. Any questions, class? Just want to kind of give that a little sneak peek behind the curtain.
No, that's good. I wanted to share my screen actually because I wanted to show some goodies.
I don't know if we should let you do that, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah, I created a model.
I don't know if just for you to A, create a model, and B, then try to share the model on a live show. If it were a recorded show, I'd feel better about it.
No, I think we should I should be able to show my screen.
Oh dear. Okay.
I mean, why not? I just was looking at oh wait.
Yeah, what did you do?
Wait a second. Hang on. I don't think I shared the right screen.
That's beautiful,
How
Pat.
do you take
Nailed it, Pat. Nailed it.
How do you take that off?
You did it. Now you're gonna. If you didn't do that in an incognito window, congratulations on the ads you just served yourself for like 6 months. You are about.
That was an accident. I meant to share my model. I'm sorry.
That was a way better joke than that strokes gained mom showing up. Jeez, strokes gained mom visiting son playing golf. All right. The first two names on my model, Pat, are the two names I like in this range. We've talked about the guys we don't like. In the 30-1 or shorter range, it's definitely Max Homa, defending champ, and it's definitely Colin Morikawa for me in this range. And it's really nobody else. There are some guys who have slipped into this range now that this morning, mixing it up with the Discord, we definitely fired on at bigger numbers, but I wasn't fully vested in those at that point, and I'm dang sure not now that they've shortened a good bit. So for me, it's Max Homa and it's Colin Morikawa. I just think those two are head and shoulders better than the other options there. I think Cantlay and Xander being at the top and being your favorites as the disgusting bros who can't finish golf tournaments is ridiculous. I think dang sure trust Max Homa to finish a golf tournament when he's in contention. I actually trust Morikawa to do it more than I do Xander and Cantlay too. So even though I kind of think Morikawa is kind of a beta, but I don't like Xander or Cantlay to win golf tournaments right now. And until they prove me, I said this in the Discord shows more, until they prove me wrong and win one, I'm just not interested in chasing it. And I don't think even if they did win one and I missed it, I'm not missing much, and the number won't change very much the next time they go to win. So I'm out.
Yeah, I feel better about Xander than I do Cantlay. But I'm with you on Morikawa up there at the top at 12-1. I mean, he's one of my favorites, whether you're playing DFS or betting on an outright.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
I just noticed something.
What?
You covered the thermostat.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Awesome. Way to go.
Yeah.
Good job.
You see that? You see what I did back there?
Yeah.
Look, there's a message for somebody too. If you can kind of read it,
Yeah.
we'll let him see if he can see it. Yeah, I did.
Good for you, man. I'm glad. It looks great.
Yeah. So I like Sungjae here at 20-1. I think Sungjae, you look at his history on this golf course, he has been, very good here. Top 10s the last 2 times he's played here. I think that I think Sungjae has a very good chance. I love, with Wilcox on his bag now, just how he seems to be playing. I know the American Express. I feel like he just kind of fizzled out a little bit last week, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Sungjae, I like though at 20-1, and then Keegan at 30-1, sneaking in there in this range.
All right, I
I like
hit Keegan this morning at 40. He was one of the ones I was talking about. Like I took him at 40 and I liked it, but then I started staring at it at 30, and I don't know. Like I still think Keegan could play well. I just don't feel as juiced up about it at 30. That could change before everything gets going. By the way, we didn't even mention this. Like, don't forget they tee off on Wednesday this week, so they are starting on Wednesdays, running Wednesday through Saturday to not interfere with the conference championships on NFL Sunday. So yeah, everything's going to be condensed for us too. So we'll do the Discord chat on Tuesday night. So don't forget to check that out if you're in the Discord. And both emails will go out. Maybe the heavy petting goes out on Monday, but if not, both will go out, heavy petting and chalk bomb, on Wednesday. Yeah, I definitely don't mind Sung Jae. I think after being so, all in on him last week, I think I'm gonna probably kick to like a top 10 or top 20 on Sung Jae and be out. But I just think up top, I want the killers. I think I want, and I mean, Homa's like the killer, and Cal was like he could be there, but that's who I want.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. I do like some names in this next range, up to 75 to 1. Before we do, we've already kind of announced that we've talked about our friends at Swannies, new golf partners. I got me some Swannies gear. I got me some drip. Yes, I saw Chris talking about it in the chat. This is the, what is this? The Van Dyke hoodie with the zipper. Very cool hoodie. I like this hoodie. Golf hoodie pullover, very lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
And code TJ25 gets you 25% off your entire Swannies order, which is the best promo code we found. It's better than the intro offer that Swanee gives you on their website when you first sign up. And it's on your entire order, and you can use it more than once. So we need the TJ fam to step it up. Swanee's has stepped up and said, hey, we love the Tour Junkies fans and followers and listeners. We're gonna partner with you guys all year. So you'll hear about Swanee's all year. We'll do some cool content with them online, on social as well. They're going to be at the Waste Management, which will be at the Waste Management in a couple weeks. Excited to meet those guys there. Rekindle the old relationship we had with them back in 2015 when they started. Same year we started. A lot of synergy with Swanee's. But locally, U.S. owned, family owned business. Now with 50, 60 plus employees. They're in over 2,000 or 3,000 retailers and PGA pro shops and stores. They have new drops coming very soon for the spring. Men's lines, women's lines, junior lines as well. That's what I love about them too. So if you have a golf family, or if your family just likes golf apparel or whatever, the whole family can get in on it. It's not just men's stuff. So pumped about that. They ship anywhere in US and Canada. So for our Canadian friends, you can get it. I'd like to apologize in advance now to Aussie DB. I'm sure he's going to message me. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll try to figure something out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Aussie DB. You put in a massive order and we'll ship it ourselves to you. We'll do that if you're in Aussie land.
I don't know. I'm here to tell you that it's very expensive to ship.
It is.
He needs to do a massive order.
Yeah, he does. So Swannies.co is the website. Link is in the description. Or you can scan the fancy QR code producer Tony's got going on right there. TJ25 at checkout for the discount. All right, up to 75 to 1. Pat, who you got?
Well, I got a couple of people in here. I'm back on to Sahith this week. He's at about 35 to 1. I like him a lot. Had that second place finish at the Century, then missed the cut at the Sony Open. Good for you. Or was it you who had him in the season-long deal? Either way,
yes.
We both missed cuts. And then, he's played here 2 years with a T25 in 2022 and then a T4 last year in 2023. I just like Sahith a lot on this golf course. Hits the ball a mile. So I'll take him at 30.
Short game for me is what's attractive about him.
Oh, yeah. His short game is quite good.
I like it too.
Yeah, there's been some interesting movement on some players that are in this range. One, Sepp Straka, who is at 40 to 1 now. And I think he opened up around like 60 or 70 to 1, which makes me wonder what the big deal is. I did like Sepp, but I'm not sure I like him as much at 40 to 1 as where he was opening at. But I definitely think he's one that is interesting. I think, a guy like Nikolai Højgaard, who finished second last week to Rory at the Dubai Desert Classic. He is around, I think the best number I saw for him was about, 55 to 1 over on FanDuel. I think he could be interesting as well. He plays all over the world. I mean, but he does play a lot of events on the PGA Tour. So I like Højgaard. Outside of that, I tell you, there's two that really interest me because of the number: Hideki and Keith Mitchell. Now, Keith Mitchell's history here has been terrible.
You're
But
throwing out some names that I have some takes and thoughts on. This is about to be a juicy conversation.
Well, I mean, Mitchell seems to get into a little bit of a groove on the West Coast. Like last year we were talking about, Cashmere Keith and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just feel like despite the fact that he doesn't have a great record here, this could still be a course that he could play well on. So he's at 70-1. And then Hideki is around 65 or 70-1. Is Hideki should he really be that? I don't know. The value feels like it's there for Hideki.
Mm-hmm.
And let me look at the latest numbers I'm seeing on Hideki. He is at 66-1 on PointsBet, 65-1 on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Feels like some good value there. And he's played, decently well here in the past. He's got a top 10 last year, a T3 back in 2019. And then, he's played twice this year, but he played Century and the Sony Open. I like that. I like that he's coming in off of playing in two events, despite, the Century wasn't great, but he made the cut at the Sony Open.
Yeah.
Let's hear the takes.
Well, on Hideki, I didn't have as strong a take on Hideki, but looking back at it now, it's kind of funny. Like the weeks, I was looking at his form coming into this event before all these really good finishes. And it's not like every year that he's played well at the Farmers, he's had incredible form leading up to it. Because his form is not great right now. He hasn't had a top 10 since the Players. Am I seeing that right? It's been a while. So I feel less comfortable with Hideki, but it does feel like it's a decent value relative to some other names. The Keith Mitchell take is interesting. Because normally I'm not quick to jump on Keith Mitchell, especially on the West Coast. I like him on Bermuda. I faded him last week, which, obviously I didn't fade him last week. It was the Sony. We knew something about him, and I kind of faded him. T30, whatever. I don't think I had a take on him at all last week, but I'm with you. I like it too. I think he's going to check some boxes in certain, key mid-iron ranges. He's really good around the green for the most part. Solid around the green for the most part. I'm kind of with you. I like the ability off the tee. And the record here is not good, but I think this is going to be kind of an interesting year for Torrey. If it's that soft, this could look a lot like the 2019 Farmers when the winning score was like, I don't know, like what Rose won at like 20 under or something, 17, 18, 19 under. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of where the score's going to be. And I just like the distance and the accuracy off the tee that Mitchell brings, a little bit like Ludwig. I think it's going to be even more of a weapon right now in these conditions. So I think the Mitchell 70-1 number is good. Who was another name you mentioned? Hideki, Mitchell. I agree with you on Thigala. Oh, Sepp. Was it Sepp?
Yeah, Sepp was the other one.
I don't really get the Sepp play. And people were talking about him in the Discord chat this morning. I just kind of I do think Sepp may be becoming a better player over the last, call it 12 months than he was prior. Maybe a slightly more consistent player. He's had some nice spike iron weeks, which will be good. His short game is not good. He's not good around the greens at all. So that concerns me a little bit.
Of all the players though that I was looking at early, he was getting the most steam, and I'm not really sure what was going on there, but
in the model that I just showed everybody, 74th in the model rank. The only real stat he pops in is the approach play. He's off the tee. He's kind of average off the tee in terms of mean, he's accurate off the tee, but he's bottom third in ball speed and distance. The key proximity buckets, he's middle of the field in. Around the green, he's he's almost dead near the bottom. POA, he's just kind of okay. He doesn't have a whole lot of California experience. Like, I mean, he has had some good finishes here. I don't know. I'm not rushing to bet it at 40 or 50 to 1. It doesn't seem like a great value to me. If he's 80 to 1, I guess I don't know. There's one more name in this range I really like. And it's a little bit, maybe who's it like? It's a little bit, it's kind of like your Hideki play. I just think for the guy and for the type of player that we know he is, which is typically really good short game and good iron play, is Shane Lowry. What do you think about Fat Shane? He's 66 to 1 on MGM. He's played here 3 times, hasn't played here since 2018. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's a scheduling thing, or maybe it's because he just doesn't like this place. But I mean, he didn't have to be here this week either, and he's here. But a T13 and a T33 in his first 2 outings here. Last time he played in 2018, he missed the cut. But to me, like Lowry, the short game brings him in play a good bit. We saw him start his year off last week. He missed the cut on the number at 12 under. Like I think that's another thing too. Like I don't think we can get super caught up in the Amex last week because obviously we know
it's totally different.
Yeah, I mean,
setup.
it's short. It's dome golf, which this is going to be dome golf too. I think the weather is. We didn't talk about that. The weather looks perfect. Normally Normally this time of year we're all talking about weather draws and which course do you want to be on, north or south. North's way easier. South's much more difficult. Now for Showdown, you for sure, if you're playing Showdown, you want to be on the north course because you're going to get more birdies in perfect conditions at Torrey. But with the Amex being the Pro-Am thing and pins in the middle of the greens and guys firing at it, and I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock if Shane Lowry missed the cut at 12 under on the number to open his season. But I just think he's a guy who fits the mold for who could play well at Torrey Pines. So Lowry at 66 to 1 on MGM is a play for me.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, he's one that I always kind of look at in fields and tournaments like this, difficult golf courses, that kind of stuff. So I don't mind Shane Lowry at all.
All right, what about some bombs? Let's move on. Outside of the 75 to 1 range, up to kind of that 125 to 1 range. Who are you into?
Well, I mean, we got to start with Sam Ryder, who is right up near the top of the model rankings. He really had a great chance to win this golf tournament last year, but Max Homa just did what he did.
Yeah.
And just slammed the door and won the golf tournament. But Sam Ryder fits the mold here of a guy that should win. So I do like him. You're probably getting him around 120 to 1, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know if you've seen him any longer than that.
I don't
but I do like him. Can I interest you in a little Ryan Fox at 90 to 1?
Now, I love Ryan Fox. I've drafted him in a lot of underdog best ball season-long drafts. He is I think he's on my season-long draft we did in the Discord. I do love Ryan Fox. You have like the Adrian Meronk, Ryan Fox range in here.
Yeah, Meronk coming off a second place at I think in Dubai last week. So.
Yeah, I just think I'm kind of sticking to, and same thing. Oh, that was another name you mentioned was Højgaard. I'm kind of sticking to the I just feel like Torrey. I feel like you got to have a little bit of experience around Torrey. You know what I mean? Like, obviously not a lot of great course history. I'm picking Keith Mitchell, but because I do think with some of the variants at Torrey, like it could play really tough or it could play really easy one year. Like you could have wide ranges of finishes if you've played here in the last 5 years. But I just like you to have some level of experience laps around these 2 golf courses, especially too, like given today. I mean, think about Moran. Played in Dubai, flew across the world to get here, and now today was a wash. Like nobody played any golf today.
Yeah.
So he's going to get 1 day. He's basically going to get 1 day to figure out 2 golf courses. I mean, I know obviously he can put more emphasis on the South, but I mean, you can't ignore on a week like this where the weather's perfect. if you don't go out and shoot 4 under or better, probably maybe 3 under, but like probably 3 under. 3 under or better on the north course, probably better. Yeah, you're gonna be in trouble when you get to the south course, or if you've already played it and you haven't done any damage. Like, you're gonna have to get some birdies on the north course. And so for these guys having to travel and, I mean, I don't know if Fox has been here for a while or Højgaard. I don't remember if they played last week, but for Meronk specifically, I just don't know that that's the best spot to take a guy like that. But so Fox, I like as a player. I do think this place could fit him nicely. I just don't know that I believe him to win, but it could be a nice top 20 bet.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could look at it a couple different ways for guys that don't have a lot of experience. I mean, if they don't have a lot of experience, I would rather we have the conditions like we're probably going to have this week, where the weather's going to be perfect. There's
Yeah,
not a whole
yeah.
lot of, things that could, really mess with what they're doing out there as far as, game planning for the golf course. It's going to be very straightforward because they don't have to factor in a whole lot of weather and things like that. I think that is one reason I think you could see some guys who are just super talented but don't have a lot of experience doing well on this golf course this week. Now, that certainly contradicts what I said about Ludwig Aber, but the reason I said that about Ludwig was because I had to pick somebody up there, and he was the only one that that really made sense. So,
Yeah.
all you Pat fact checkers out there, just said, "Well, Pat, you said earlier that experience mattered."
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely talked out of both sides. You were definitely being a politician there.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, and like I said, I like Ryan Fox. I mean, I like him as a player. I guess at that range, it's not a bad play. You know what? I realized I forgot a play in the previous range, Pat. I mean,
Mm.
I'm definitely very interested in Luke List again
Mm.
at 75 to 1. Former champ. I remember where I was the night he beat Will Zalatoris in that playoff. I was at a wedding.
Everybody remembers it because you victory lapped the
Listen,
heck out of that more than you victory lapped anything you've ever victory lapped.
listen, the years of missing on Luke List all built up, and I just happened to be at a wedding with an open bar, and sometimes life just lines up. But he's always played Torrey quite well. I think he's going to be comfy as he's going to get putting. He's probably there at Torrey Pines. So, started off his year at Century and Sony, hit it fine. Both events hit it fine. Hit the irons really well at Sony. Just, lost 6 strokes putting, which is what he tends to do. So, but I think it's 75 to 1. I think Liss is definitely in play here. Other than Ryder, because I do agree with you on Ryder. I mean, I think 125 to 1. We talked about that today in the Discord. Like, can Ryder actually win a tournament? Well, if you take his mom out of the picture, he's been on tour long enough. He's been around it long enough. Like, we see it every year. These guys that like finally win an event or whatever. I think as close as he came last year to beating the likes of Max Homa and Morikawa and John Rahm and a very strong field last year. I think Sam Ryder is capable of doing it. I actually do. There's guys in here that I don't believe are, but I think Ryder is capable of it. And at 125 to 1, I don't have to have a ton of belief in that, especially in this range. I don't really have a lot in this range. I do like a guy who you and I know talked about a little bit in the Wednesday night show in the chat. I think we were kind of trying to figure out why or how much we like this guy as he went on his way to missing the cut at the Amex. But Taylor Pendrith feels if he feels a little Luke Listy to me. I guess he's probably a better putter than Luke List, but plenty of distance, has these spike iron weeks. And if you catch him on one of those, he's found himself in contention, a couple of times on the PGA Tour. And I think it wouldn't shock me to see him on the top page of the leaderboard at Torrey Pines. Does he close the door? I don't know. But at 125 to 1 on points bet, I'm kind of interested to see.
Okay. That's all I got.
All right. Outside of that, any other bombs over that range? Like I had one in here in particular. I'm sure I'm going to find some others before the weekends, but we're going to get moving here. Austin Eckroat is a guy we talked about also this morning, and he's shortened. the Discord show he's like 170 to 1 this morning. He's now 130 on DK. But Eckroat's a little bit of a field play too. I mean, he's missed the cut both times he's played here, but the overall skill set we know of Eckroat, hit it far, really good long mid-iron play. Hope the short game kicks in, and just we kind of he seems to be a low floor, high ceiling guy, but I think Eckroat's interesting.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Sam Stevens, man. He's at 180 to 1.
I did not see that. Okay, Sam Stevens.
Yeah, Sam.
Almost won a couple weeks ago.
If you look at the BTN model, he shows up pretty well there. Top 10 in strokes gained around the green. He's a good putter. Looks good off the tee. I think you just look at those stats in general. Plus, he finished 13th here last year. Had that top 25 at the Sony Open. Did make the cut last week, but didn't play great on the weekend. I think Sam Stevens is interesting at 180 to 1. I feel like he's a guy that can win. I mean, he hasn't gotten there quite yet, but at 180 to 1, if you want a long shot that has check some boxes and has been playing well, I think Sam Stevens is the guy.
Okay, Sam Stevens. Wow. Okay, I did not see that happening. All right, let's talk top 20s. The top 20 6-pack, and then we're going to get with some listener voicemails, show you guys just kind of how weird some of our listeners are. But going to get to some listener voicemails and get out of here. But the top 20 6-pack, 2 locks, 1 bomb at 4 to 1 or longer. Pat, I'm going to start this one.
Okay.
My 2 locks, let me pull them up here. My 2, God dang it. I don't want it. Okay. My 2 locks are going to be, I'm going to take 2 guys that I'm not going to bet outright because I'm not quite buying the close the door and win it right now. But I am interested in the player having a good week. And it's going to be Tony Finau, who we didn't talk about, at plus 115 to top 20. Incredible record here. 4 top 13 finishes in the last 5 years. T25 at the Amex last week. We know who Tony Finau is. We know what he does best. Great short game, underrated short game. Obviously, plenty of distance. Long irons are dialed. Tony Finau plus 115 on DraftKings. I don't know what he is on BetMGM, but I'll probably take him there. He's probably still plus money or even money at best or at worst. And then I'm going to go with Keegan, who we talked about a little bit, plus 140. Like I said, I feel like he's also kind of that low floor, high ceiling kind of guy. And I'll go with Keegan at plus 140.
All right. Well, I will go with Sung Jae at plus 110. And then both these guys I had as outright, so there's just not a whole lot of mystery to it. But then I'll also go with well, actually, I didn't really have this guy as an outright, but I do think he can. I think he's going to play well this week. I'm going to go with Decky at plus 240 at top 20.
Ooh, that's a lock for you, huh, Decky?
I'm locking it in.
Plus 240. That's a juicy lock. All right, bomb territory. Who you got? 4 to 1 or longer?
I'll make this one easy too. I'm just going to stick with Sam Stevens here at 5 to 1.
All right. I thought you were going to go Sam Ryder. We'll make it a pair of Sams.
Okay.
I'll go Sam Ryder. Sam Stevens 5 to 1. You said.
Yep.
There you go.
Top 20 locks.
I like it. All right, Pat. That is the end of the, I guess, serious portion of the show. If we have one of those, the listener voicemail thing. This is so puzzling to me. I listen to a bunch of other podcasts, and a couple of them have people that call in and leave voicemails. And, obviously the weird ones or the entertaining ones or the funny ones or whatever, they get airtime on the show. But I listen to these and I'm like, oh, that's great. That's a great conversation starter. And, we should get our listeners, we could have some fun with that. And then every time we beg for voicemails, first of all, we have to beg for them. And that's really on you guys. We shouldn't have to do that. We have plenty of listeners to be able to call in and get plenty of voicemails, quality voicemails. Yes, I'm reprimanding all of you right now. If you're listening, I'm reprimanding you. I saw it in the comments earlier. I get
DB reprimanded.
Yeah. But then you guys just, I don't know. I don't know, Pat. Did you listen to any of these?
I don't know what you're playing. I believe
them.
No, you stole them all. I couldn't hear them anymore once you Actually, I don't know. I listened to one of them, and it was crazy.
Well, first of all, what's funny too is like nobody leaves their name, which is probably smart for most of these. Most of these is probably very smart. But there were prizes up for grabs, which we already announced those. So, all right, well let's. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna play him, and then I guess see what we have to say about him. So Tony, fire away.
Hey, tour junkies, just wanted to give me.
Play it again, Tony. Play it again. Play it again. 14 seconds. 14 seconds. Thankfully, he didn't say his name. Do we got it? Do we have it? Try it again.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope. Don't have that.
14-second voicemail. And my guy goes,
I'm on the wrong side now.
what'd he say? He's like, hey, tour junkies, it's me or something. I don't know. He says something.
Was that a rotary phone?
And then he cannot figure out how to hang
He's
up.
trying to like.
He can't figure out how to hang up his phone. He just keeps pressing it. Okay, producer Tony said he's got it again. Go again, one more time.
Hey, tour junkies, just wanted to give me.
It's three button beeps trying to hang up. That one actually is the funniest one to me. That's the funniest one.
I had not heard that one. So
for me, it's all downhill from here. I just thought
that was really good.
And he actually left a real one. But the real one was definitely not good enough to get on the show. So I thought this was all right. Anyway, all right. Let's. I think this next one is a suggestion, a name suggestion, which we asked for suggestions for the Thursday show. A name suggestion for the show.
Good morning, junkies. This is Batch up in New Hampshire. I'm listening to your Thursday No Name show. I'm thinking foreplay. Call it foreplay. We leave it there. It's not quite betting. It's not quite DFS. It's a little foreplay going into the weekend. Use a beer sleeve or two myself. So I will see you later.
Oh man, so many things to break down.
Yeah.
First of all, did he say his name was Vag? I didn't get it. I didn't get the name. I love the creativity with Siwoo later. It's beautiful. Really appreciate that he loves us. Definitely does not sound like he needs any more beer sleeves, but we would send him one. Maybe he's also whatever part of Virginia he's from, he is under a rock because I think Foreplay is one of the biggest golf podcasts in the world.
So, thank you for that name, though.
He is driving down the road like, oh, I got one. Like, I got this, boys. I'm about to. What's that number? Got a number. I'm about to win me a Siwoo shirt and a beer sleeve. Hey, boys, this is Vag. It's Foreplay, dog. You know, it's before the thing, and it's sexual. Shh. People.
I mean, it would have been great.
What if he was like? What if he called?
Years ago.
What if
9 years ago.
What if he called back and he's like, oh, and you know, make sure it's like FORE, like golf, like foreplay. That'd be great. Oh God, just rich, just real rich. We appreciate it though, Vag. It's really nice of you to call it.
Yeah.
These are actually making me laugh more now. I don't know why. I didn't think this was gonna be that good, but I think this is kind of good. All right, the next one is a punishment idea, I think, for the season-long punishment. Never mind. Nobody's going to want to call in.
All right, Tour Junkies, punishment time. Loser on the punishment wheel has to roll up to a public course as a single to get paired with a foursome while wearing a Tim Tebow jersey and jorts.
All right, so by the way, yeah, like I said, Nobody's going to ever want to leave us a voicemail again after we roast these. But that one was coherent, first of all. So good for this guy, this nameless person. But that was coherent. So the idea, Pat, is roll up as a single, play golf in a group in a Tebow jersey and jorts. So some jean shorts, which is very Florida. What do you think about that one?
It's actually a decent idea. Apparently Tony has some thoughts on this. Too.
Tony, what do you got?
I was going to say, if you're going to go full 2011, 2012, whenever Tebow Mania was running wild, you got to go everything. So like whatever the top 10 songs that were popular in 2012, that's all you can play on your speaker.
Ooh.
You got to really specify it. I don't know, I'm just making up words. Specificize it to 2012 or whatever year that was.
Yeah.
If we really
like your cocktail or whatever you're drinking has to be like something like special for that year. I don't know what.
Even tie it into like a TV show, like whatever TV show was popular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah, just the whole thing has to be only 2012s.
That's not a bad idea. If we wanted to take it even a step further, I don't know what kind of money this would cost, but like try to find some clubs that were hot in 2012 and you play the round 2012. Chris Draper said we could wear an Aaron Hernandez jersey. we could really mix it up there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, of all the Florida, which we, obviously this listener, maybe I'm assuming they know that we hate Florida with a passion deep within us. We both hate Florida a lot. But if I were ever forced to wear any jersey of a Florida person, Tim Tebow would be the better one. I mean, I like Tebow. He's a good dude. I don't know how he could, but so it would be worse for me. I know I can speak for me to wear another Florida player's jersey.
Yeah. I think the jorts part would probably be the worst thing for me.
But I think the jorts thing would look natural for you. I think that would look natural.
I don't think so at all. And I don't appreciate that. By the way.
I think this is a good idea to build off of. This is actually a very useful voicemail. I think we build off this when we think about it. Let's kick it around. If you have any comments or suggestions on how further we could make this 2012 or whatever the year is, drop that in the comments. That's interesting. I think we have one more, if I'm right, to producer Tony. One more here, and this is another barely coherent one, I think.
Absolutely love the fucking boys, all right? You guys have won me so much money over the years. I love it. I just want to actually say that I may be a little hammered right now. I took
Really?
fajita, potato. My guy, long story short, I'm going to chase after him. I do have a question. Is he somebody that we think he can win this year? Like on the tour? Anyways, love you guys. Big fan of the show. Found you guys through Hammer Time. So, do also, though, love you guys. So, keep going what you guys are going.
Tony, we got to cue that up again. I want to hear it again. My guy, first of all, like, God, I love that we got some listeners from Hammer Don. Shout out to Hammer Don, our boy Tone Diggs, Brucey Bryan over there at Pat McAfee Studios. Love that. And anybody that listens to Hammer Don is going to like our show. So that's good. We like that. My boy is clearly hammered. And if you couldn't read the transcription attempt from Google Voice on this, you probably could not even figure out. Do you know who he was talking about? Do you know who he was asking about? I guess you probably do.
I think he was asking about Akshay.
He was asking about Akshay.
Yeah. The Google Translate is the best thing about these voicemails is because it comes through first as an email and it translates it. So you get to look at that before you even get to listen to it. And it's fantastic.
True. And sometimes, or actually, I think probably most times, like Google Translate is funnier than the actual voicemails, but not in our listeners' cases. Most of them, yeah, these are weird. But if you had not seen the Google Translate, which translated it, I just asking fajita, potato, a guy, long story short. So he mispronounces batia. That's where fajita comes in. And then I just got to Just got to hear it one more time, Tony. Just one more time.
Absolutely love the fucking boys. All right, you guys have won me so much money over the years. I love it. I just want to actually say that I may be a little hammered right now. I took Ashki Bahita, potato. My guy. Long story short, I'm gonna chase after him.
Is this Brian
I do have a
Kirshner?
question. Is he somebody that we think he can win this year? Like on the tour? Anyways,
Also,
love you guys. Big
yes.
fan of the show. Found you guys through Hammer Time. So you also though, love you guys. So
Love you.
keep going what you guys are going.
I love you, man. God, I love you, man. Oh, I told you I love you, man. Also, yeah, in the beginning, it does sound like Brian Kirshner. His voice sounds like Kirshner, and Kirshner drinks a lot. It could be Kirshner in disguise and trying to throw us off by telling us he heard us on Hammer Dine.
Poor Kirshner.
I love you guys, man. Anyway, I love you guys. Like, I want to be friends with that guy. Oh, thank you. All right. So anyway, I don't know if we'll ever do that segment again. I thought it was fun, but God, we had to work really hard to get those drunk guys to call in. It would be great if you guys had more of those. In fact, I'll just say this: if at any point in the year you are drunk or high, and you just got to get something off your chest or ask a question or about anything, please, for the love, please call the number 706.
Put it in your favorites.
Yeah, put it in your favorites right now. Tour Junkies hotline. You can put in DB and Pat help. DB and Pat help. 706-6-ADDICT. 706-623-3428. You may not ever think you want to call it right now, but you're sober right now. But when you're not, and you've had a gummy or whatever you're doing, bath salts. Some of you've probably on doing some bath salts. If it's anything, just call us, because that was actually fun. That was more fun than I thought it was going to be. All right. Great show. On the next show, on the DFS show, there's another surprise in store that I've not even got to see, and I'm excited. Pat's done a video for us, him and producer Tony working on something behind the scenes for the farmers. Apparently we've got some farming with Pat going down. Can't wait to watch that video. It'll be on the DFS show. Hope you guys have a great week. Bend over your